Guys, there are two types of people on this earth. There's high vibrating people with empathy.
Now, we are all aware of the Proverbs 31 woman. You know, we're aware that a virtuous woman can come into our lives and extend our territories, right?
And low vibrating people with a lack of empathy.
But the thing that we never talk about is the woman of Proverbs 5.
My son, attend unto my wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding.
5, right? The strange woman.
That thou may regard discretion and thy lips keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman are as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Now, brothers, I'm aware that many of you are watching this video while multitasking. But just for 1 second, let me get your undivided attention, because this stuff is real. Now, the reason I think we need to talk about the strange woman is because this woman has been responsible for dethroning many kings, right? This woman has been the primary reason for many men doing time in jail. This woman is the root cause of several men going to an early grave.
This woman, also responsible for the severing of many twin flame unions, is the female narcissist, or quote unquote, Jezebel.
Now think of that woman that you used to date, right? You know, when you first met her, everything was just perfect. She was extremely feminine. She was highly sexual. She was saying all the right things, almost like she was reading from a script. She was reading all the same books as you, watching all the same documentaries. It almost appeared that she was your reflection. But what you didn't know at the time, brothers, is that you would come face to face
with Jezebel.
So those of you who have been hazed by the Jezebel spirit your whole life, look back on your life. If you were betrayed around every corner with people that you trusted and it just doesn't make sense, that shouldn't have happened.
I know what you're getting ready to ask me. So, how do you know the difference between the chameleon and the virtuous woman?
There are two types of people on this earth.
Well, there are several ways to tell, but for me, I look at the way they love.
There's high vibrating people with empathy and low vibrating people with a lack of empathy.
Because see, when you talk about the virtuous woman, the thing that's her strength is also actually her weakness. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way she loves. She loves. See, the virtuous woman, she loves unconditionally. And the thing is, whether you're in her life as her man, whether you're in her life as a friend, whether you're in her life as somebody that has done her wrong in the past and now you're just back in her life, she's every single time she's just gonna love you unconditionally because she has no on and off switch. That's who she is. She knows no other way, you know. And that's why I say it's also her weakness, because she can easily be manipulated. So that's why they often have the guards up. Now, on the other hand, the chameleon.
This person took from you. This person you trusted over here just turned into a different person.
She loves with vices. And when I say she loves with vices, this is what I mean.
You're betrayed around every corner.
See, the strange woman,
their minds are very easily influenced by evil forces.
Her ultimate goal of sending you to the depths of hell really doesn't have the ability to love. She can only demonstrate love through her vices.
Their minds are polluted. They're operating out of their mind and body.
And her three primary vices are sex, flattery, and egotism.
But one thing is missing.
Now, sex is where she's going to get the men that vibrate on the lowest of levels. Any man that's not aware of his creative power, that's not aware of self, is going to fall victim to any woman that's offering them up some loving, right? But for the men that vibrate on a higher level, she's gonna have to go to doors 2 and 3, which is flattery and egotism. Brothers, it is nice to have the good things in life. But like I always say, get things that you truly like, not the things that you think the world would like. Why? Because now these things can easily become a weapon against the ego. Your accomplishments, your fitness, and your worldly possessions all have to be for self. Because if not, she will stroke your ego into a blue pill coma.
You have an anointing on your life, and they know this. And so a lot of them put on this mask to fool you to get the things that they want and need in this life, and that to them is supply.
Hear me now, therefore, and depart not the words of my mouth. Remove thy way from her, and come not nigh the door of her house, lest thou should give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel.
Now at this point, brothers, she has infiltrated all of your defenses and has become a permanent part of your world.
And they really need the supply because of that separation from mind and soul. And so they go after the high vibrating people who they can learn from and steal identity from, and actually fool them into thinking that they are like-minded.
Now she could even be somebody that you've just gotten serious with, or she could be a lifelong partner. But the thing about this phase of the guaranteed execution is that you begin to become aware of a few things. You begin to ask yourself, like, if a woman is supposed to expand my territory, then why is my territory shrinking?
They do anything that they can to destroy and get these anointed off their path.
The devil doesn't come to you with red face and horns. He comes to you disguised as everything you've ever wanted.
This spirit is unapologetic of its destruction and only cares for the selfish and conniving agenda it has, which is to destroy one's spirit and ultimately destroy their journey to God.
Jezebel knows that twin flames are supposed to complete their journey together, and this is why she has the express goal of separating the masculine from the feminine and severing the union.
The longer this spirit has permission to operate in your life, the more destructive and worse it becomes. Most targets and victims who suffer from narcissistic abuse come from a narcissistic home, with usually the mother or the father or both carrying this demonic demon inside of them. It seems like a pretty unfair deal to be handed at such an early age, but this is a large part due to generational curses that can be broken. Growing up in a narcissistically abusive home conditions the individual to be a prime target for other narcissists in their adulthood.
Which is why the masculine half of the twin flames, which is usually narcissistic in nature, is easily lured out of the union by the Jezebel spirit.
However, this does not exclude individuals who grew up in healthy homes. The Jezebel spirit seeks to destroy anyone who has an open door for its grand entrance. Even someone with solid boundaries can still come across this spirit in their life and fall victim to the abuse. This is often the case when it comes to the workplace, where you can only have so much control on how and who you deal with due to the environment of the workplace. Even with clear boundaries in the workplace, one can become a target of abuse if this spirit finds you a threat. Jealousy and envy flows through this spirit, and anyone who is happy or content is enough cause to be a target.
Which is why a lot of masculines are targeted and lured away from their unions by someone that they met at work.
This disembodied spirit usually finds a person's body to inhabit at an early age, where the person has either suffered from some physical, mental, or emotional abuse. However, there can be other cases such as generational curses, which is why there are so many psychopaths who are born this way.
The masculine half of the twin flames has usually been abused or neglected in their early childhood, and they're usually narcissistic in nature themselves. So when they run from their divine counterpart, they usually attract someone on their same frequency who would be a reflection of their own disorders. Hence the female narcissist, or quote unquote Jezebel.
Why is it since we've been together, my money is declining? Why is it that since we've been together, my time is less quality? Why is it that my peace is no longer present? Now, this is where things get interesting.
You have to understand this. You are favored, and you have to know this. And so the evil forces are going to do everything that they can to get you off your path.
Because what you realize is that she's not after your money, time, and peace. What she's after is that life force that creates that. I introduce to you, my brothers, the lactose dectus, the energy vampire.
Or the narcissist demon by the name of Jezebel.
See, obtaining things are good, but her ultimate goal is to extract a man's life energy. Coincidentally, this is the same energy that fuels his purpose. As she sinks deeper and deeper toward the gates of hell, she comes to find that not only does she need to feed off of the man for material gain, she needs to feed off of him for survival.
And they really need the supply because of that separation from mind and soul. And so they go after the high vibrating people.
Now, at some point, man will ask himself the ultimate question. Like, am I better off with or without her? Now, once he asks himself this question, he begins to see everything. He begins to see this woman for what she really is. He begins to see the face behind the mask.
But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell.
Now, brothers, at this point, man can clearly decipher between the physical and the spiritual when it comes to this woman. In other words, man can clearly see through fake smiles, fake actions, and see the true nature of this woman. What man had limited capabilities of seeing in phase 2 is now screaming through her very eyes.
They will exhibit an addiction to feeling special, unique, or superior, and they will lack empathy, they will feel entitled, and they will be exploitative.
It is at this point, brothers, where a man must choose between life or death.
They utilize other people as sources of narcissistic supply, and they depend on them to mirror back to them the beliefs that they have about this false self. So in any situation, she has the desire to be the smartest, the prettiest, the most successful, the most charming, basically the best of everything and everyone that surrounds her.
Some women are just spending their whole lives extracting a man's life force and then just patiently waiting on him to die just so they can double up on their investment. You know, over the last several years, you know, it's been cool for a man to have several notches on his belt. You know, it's been cool for a man to conduct himself in a certain manner. But I'm telling you, brothers, times have changed. I'm telling you that ship has sailed. You know, I don't know if you guys are aware of everything that's taking place in the world, but we're moving toward a different era. You know, it's time for us to be upstanding men. You know, being the men that are easily persuaded by sex, that are easily persuaded by our egos being stroked.
Everything is just so superficial for the female narcissist. They aren't genuinely interested in things that truly matter about being a human being, like, you know, character and values. Unless, of course, in a phony sense, because she uses that as part of her image that she wants to portray.
Guys, I'm telling you, we have to elevate past that.
And because it fits her fraudulent image. Also, everyone that she surrounds herself with is all about looking good and how they can contribute to her appearance or status. She is literally consumed with image.
You know, we have to start becoming men of discernment.
They love surrounding themselves with people who have money so that they can manipulate them into spending money on her. And the more expensive, the better. The female narcissist uses clothes, cars, handbags, you know, jewelry, these material things that she has, she uses to validate her deep insecurities, and it gives her a false sense of being valuable and worthy.
So the twin flames are referred to as the divine masculine and the divine feminine, okay? And it's usually the Jezebel spirit that comes in from outside the relationship, and due to her deep insecurity and envy of the divine feminine, who actually is valuable and worthy, Jezebel wants to destroy the divine feminine and to replace the divine feminine. So knowing that the masculine is weak, Jezebel uses him to accomplish both goals.
So she loves to flaunt her assets
In her futile attempts to compete with the divine feminine, who she envies,
in hopes that she will provoke others to be envious of her.
and what the masculines fail to see is that it was never about her being attracted or caring for him at all. It was about her wanting to destroy and replace the divine feminine by any means necessary. And because they are the weak link in the twin flame union, 99% of the time, because their ego is in the forefront and they have no loyalty, they take the bait, and under the direction of Jezebel, they break the divine feminine's heart and will usually attempt to replace her with Jezebel, not knowing the whole time that they were only being used as a pawn in the game of chess that is being played between God and the devil. Life is about choices, and we all have free will. Unfortunately, a lot of masculines have chosen to be a willing pawn in the hand of the devil, many of whom will soon be regretting their decision.
Because at the end of the day, there are only two choices. There's life and there's death. Death.